I was born in the South. I was the youngest of 4 children, and my father was an atheist, while my grandmother was really devout and she believed in Lord Shiva, and we worshipped Lord Shiva at that time. When I was very young, my mother was very seriously ill and she was admitted in Vellore Medical College. She was in and out of the hospital. She had many surgeries, many investigations later. They told her they couldn't find anything wrong with her and they sent her home. At home, she used to be upstairs in one room which was all dark, and my father would creep in and creep out. So I really didn't know my mother at that time. I thought my grandmother was my mother. Then one day, my father read in the Hindu paper that there is somebody called Narasimha who's coming to Coimbatore, Nagasai temple, which is very close from Arvankadu, where we lived. And he asked my mother whether she would like to come. At that time, my mother said, sure, when human beings can't do anything for us, let's try God. So they went there, and luckily they took me along with them. So Narasimha gave my mother a very small photograph of Baba and Udi, and he said to apply the Udi all over your body and to take it in water, and you will be well. He gave her the assurance that she is going to get well no matter what. And it's not me who's doing it, but this is Baba's Udi that is going to work miracles for you. And my mother took it, and he gave a stotra in which it says that Baba is Narayan. And thus, when you take his Udi, any diseases you may have in the 9 orifices of the body, those will be cured. And indeed, within a week, she stood up and she said she's fine. My father said, how can you, he couldn't just believe it. But she got down from that room upstairs and she started becoming a mother. For the first time, I realized what it was to have a real mother. And my father took a 3-degree turn at that time. From an atheist, he said, who's this Sai Baba? What is this Udi that they gave her to eat? Where is Shirdi? And then he scouted it out and he came to Shirdi. I first came to Shirdi in the December vacation, Christmas vacation of 1954, because the statue of Baba had just come, and it was really, really beautiful. And from then, Baba came into our lives, and when Baba comes into your life, you eat Baba, sleep Baba, drink Baba, everything becomes Baba. So, in fact, little things like, instead of saying good morning to each other in the morning, we started saying Jai Sai Nath. My father would call him Sai Nath and not Baba. I started saying Baba after coming to Maharashtra. He'd say Sai Nath because we have nobody in this world. And Anathon ka Nath, Sai Nath. So we have only the Nath, who is going to look after us eternally. So we started, he brought the Satcharita for us. We read it, and he said we were to learn the artis, and then he started doing congregational worship, because when we had gone back to Narasimha to thank him that my mother had gotten well through the Udi, he said, Prabhu, you go and do prachar in central India. My father wondered how he's going to go to central India, but 2 months later, he got transferred to Jabalpur. And in Jabalpur, he started talking about Baba, distributing charitra, doing pujas in people's houses on Thursday. He built a little Sai Baba temple there. And thus, the seed of prachar was sown into all of us. I was really happy with that idea of prachar, because I felt that if you tell someone about Baba who doesn't know, and if suppose they get faith, then it's like a mustard seed field in which you put one mustard seed and it flourishes and becomes a whole field. So that idea was very nice to me. When I was very young girl, I thought that I would do seva, like the nuns, the Catholic nuns, where they are married to Christ, and then their whole life is devoted to just doing social work and charity work for their community. So I thought that that would be a very nice thing, and I would do that. However, had to complete my studies. I did my medical college from Jabalpur Medical College, and then I came to Delhi and did post-graduation and went off to America. I went off to America with one sole reason, that if you needed to do charity work, you can't always ask for donations. People will give you donations once, twice, and then after that they will say, my God, what does she come for? So you must have an egg nest if you want to do something. You must have some money put away. And my father had always told us and taught us that the first pay goes to Baba. Any job that you get, first pay goes to Baba, and 10% of your earnings, that has to be put away to do charity work in Baba's name. Be it Anadan, Jaldan, Gau Seva, anything. But it should be kept away so that work can be done from it. So when I went to America, then the dollar value, I realized that would be much better than if I had to slog in India. In 1994, when I was about 50 years old, I decided that I would retire and come back. Then the question came, where was I going to live? So I said, oh Baba, if you're willing, please let me stay in Shirdi, because without your will, nobody can even step into the boundary of Shirdi. And he made it very easy for me. He got me this flat and made life very easy for me. And then he gave me Sada, who would do my running around work. So from there, once in about, I think it was 1996 or so, I walked with the palki from Pune to Shirdi on Guru Purnima Day. At that time, I had a lot of problems on the way. My walking shoes got lost. I had blisters. They were festering, and my medicines got stolen and things like that. So I had a lot of problem. And everybody would drink a cold drink, but I wanted a cup of piping hot tea so I could do the next 10 miles. So I told Sada, I said, Sada, I had a lot of problems when I was walking with the palki. So could you do something like if anybody comes to Koralem on their way to Shirdi, could you give them some tea and poha? He said, yeah, I can do that. So in the beginning, there were very few people who stopped by at our temple. But later it increased, just word of mouth, many people started coming. And then the social work that we do at Korala started taking off very well. When I stayed in Shirdi, Baba didn't allow me to do any work in Shirdi itself. I wanted to open a Montessori school that closed off right before it started only. I tried to work in the Samsthan, and even that didn't pan out. So I didn't know what to do. So in my free time, I started saying, let us find out the history of Baba. Which were these houses that Baba went for Bhiksha? At that time, in the Charitra, there's no mention of the names of the devotees that he went to. So I went searching for those houses and located the 5 Bhiksha houses. And then the path that he took during his Bhiksha round, how did he go to Lendibag? How many times did he go to Lendibag? I started looking into all of this, and I made a sort of a walking tour of Shirdi village, in which you can have the whole Charitra, starting right from Lakshmi Mai's temple, where Baba came as a black dog when Bala Shimpi had high fever. I found that temple. Where was it? Where would Baba have been? And I started locating these things. Then when I had all these things together, like a program of a walking tour, then I went into the Samsthan and started finding out when was the, like in Lendibag, when was that tree, the people tree there? When was it there before Baba's time? The neem trees that he planted, and I started looking at those things. So then it became a full package in which the whole Charitra can be shown to people outside in the village and inside the Samsthan. So that was a very neat package, and I said, anybody who's willing, at your time, I'm willing to take you. No fees, no nothing. but you have to give me payment. The payment will be that you have to show at least 5 people more. 10, 20, the more the merrier, and preferably the younger generation, because things are changing. It is people's private property. They're going to make a hotel out of that. It's a source of income for them. So they are not going to keep it, and these things will be lost. If I don't show you the place that the house was situated, just my saying that it's Punnami Hotel makes no sense, because Punnami may be bought by somebody else sometime later, and then maybe Shiv Sagar or some other name. So that way people started coming and joining my group, and some of them did and some didn't. In the meantime, we started making photo exhibitions. We had these charts in which we had taken out photos. Sada and me had taken photos of the 5 houses, all the things in the Dwarka Maya. At that time we were allowed to take photographs. So we'd put them on charts and take them to any temple that would give us 2 walls where we could hang the charts, and call the devotees themselves. So we got a crowd, and then we showed them Shirdi in a pictorial form. Then we started doing slideshows. After that, I thought this is not going to work because it's very hard to go from place to place. And then many of the devotees said, please put it in book form. If you put it in book form, we'll have it forever. The same photographs you put in book form. So my first book was Ambrosia and Shirdi. And that took off very well. So I said, oh, okay, that means I can write something. Then at that time I found that many of the books that were there, they kept talking about the Chand Bhai Patil story over and over again, and nothing new. So I wanted people to know what their Sadguru is like. Like, to me, Baba is my best friend. I know everything about my best friend, so I should know, why does Baba wear a kafni? Why does he tie the cloth on his head? What could be the possible meaning of it? What did he like? How did he? What was his daily routine? What was his morning routine? When did he go to Lendi Bagh? I found all these things from Kapade Diary, old Sai Leela magazines, and then put them together. And thus the books came out. Then one book led to another. Then I found that there are some gaps in the Satcharita, like the story of the Alandi Swami. I didn't know his name. There was no name given. In one old Sai Leela magazine, I found that his name was there, and he had written about how that incident, how he came to Baba, and just looking at Baba, half the pain in his ear was gone. And then when Baba sent him off saying, go now, everything is going to be okay, the swelling even subsided from where it was. There was swelling, but it had subsided to a great extent. So all these things I found, like in chapter 9, there's the story of the young boy, Tarkat's son, who tells his father and gets upset that his father does not give prasad to a photograph. So I said, Sada, go find this person. Why is he so interested that the prasad be given? There is a story about that photograph. So find that story. So thus Sada started looking and trying to trace the descendants of these devotees that were with Baba, and then asking them, what did Baba give any mantrupdesh? Did he say, continue your mantra, whatever mantra was given to you by your guru? Or did he say anything? Or when he gave you coins, did he say something about the coins? Or what did he say when he gave you these things? Like Tarkad was given a pocket. So from that pocket, he bought that apartment in Tata building. So that way, was there any story linked to it? So from there, the book started coming out. And then all the devotees that are there, all the pictures of the devotees that are there in Samadhi Mandir, I said, go search for them. Now we had no address, no name, but Sada managed to find them and managed to ask them the questions that I had asked. So I got material for my books right from the source. So that way I was able to write the books. My hope is that through these tours, through the books that I've written, that Baba's history is preserved, and more people would know it and be able to share it with the younger generation. It's the younger generation, because Shirdi is changing so rapidly. God knows if those hotels and restaurants are going to be there. So that is what the aim of my doing these working tours or writing these books, that is, I hope that I have reached even a few people. For me, that is great. And I thank Baba for this opportunity to do this work. Sai Ram.